Hi, and welcome to the Kung Fu Book Review. Today we're going to be talking about what is this series and what do you expect to get out of it. So, my name is Mark. I'm a Kung Fu Tai Chi instructor. I've trained in Wing Chun, Tai Chi and Xing Yi Quan, and then a couple of spatterings of a little bit of other stuff. So some Baji, some White Crane, some Chow Gar, etc. So I've done quite a lot of Kung Fu, and I love it. I love training it, I love teaching it, I love talking about it, and I love reading about it. So, and also watching videos and all sorts of other media, right? But I have a deep fondness in my heart for martial arts books. Partly because it's always interesting, it's always a bit of a surprise, because some of them are great, like really brilliant, like proper, teaching manuals that let you explore the concepts and really unlock the ideas and get the hang of the theory and the ideas that go behind the arts that you're studying and deepen your practice. And others are just absolute garbage, right? They're just trash, right? They're just, still pictures of people, often with their shirts off, with no explanation, right? So they range from, brilliant, well-crafted, thoughtful training aids to something that's a complete waste of time. So it's always a bit of an adventure when you pick up a martial arts book. It's kind of like a secret training manual. And in the days when I first started training, before everything was on YouTube and the internet, and you couldn't just Google search your way, often it was like that. When a new book came into a martial arts bookshop, it was like, oh, let's have a look at this, and is it going to be good or not? So I have a fond place in my heart for martial arts books. On top of that, I think that there's actually some real practical value in sitting down and reading a book, as opposed to watching videos, which is obviously very accessible and a brilliant training and teaching tool, because really what you're doing is you're learning those movements, right? It's not as good as sitting in front of somebody who's really doing the movements, but you're getting those motor neurons to fire, you're visualizing and looking at it, and then you can practice, right? So videos are great for practical instruction and running through movements and exploring things. But there's a different role to be played by exploring it in the written word, right? By really getting that, thinking about the concepts and ideas is often best explored through writing. And also, on top of that, it's really good to unplug, especially as how things are at the moment. We spend a lot of time sitting down looking at screens, and I'm telling you this via a screen, right? So I think and there's a lot of evidence to support this as well, that unplugging and actually reading something in hard copy is brilliant and really good for you as well. So that's why I think books are great, and they're a very useful part of they're sort of part of the yin component of your training. Just reading books or watching stuff on the internet is not going to make you a good martial artist, right? It complements the hard training of actually doing it, but reading and thinking about it is a useful sort of yin practice that complements the yang part of the training, right? They balance each other out. You do a hard session of training, maybe sparring, hitting pads or bags or whatever, and then you come away and you think, oh, I could have done that better. What am I missing? That posture wasn't right. And then you go into this yin state where you could read or reflect or meditate and then grow your practice. So they both support each other, and then you're ready to come back and be really yang again and hit your training hard with the correct intention. So that's why I think that, reading books, Kung Fu books, is good. So I've got loads and loads. I've got a whole, bookshelf full of Kung Fu books. It's like half of our office, our shared office with my wife is, hers is all, work and marketing books, and mine's all Kung Fu books, right? So, what do I do when I review a book? So I'll sort of give you my summary or first impression initially, sort of like thumbs up, thumbs in the middle, or thumbs down. I'll talk a little bit about the author and the background, because again, the great thing about books as well is you get a proper bio quite often from people, and you get to explore, some really fascinating and interesting characters in the world of martial arts. I'll go over the content and talk you through what's covered in the book and sort of go through bits, and I might highlight particular bits that I found interesting or useful. And then I'll sort of, I'll close with my overall impression, strengths and weaknesses, all that kind of thing. Yeah, so that'll be my, and also of course it's always my subjective opinion. You know, I have my own biases and the own, you know, things that I like, and you might like something completely different, right? You might like lots of, you know, pictures of, you know, martial arts instructors with their tops off. All power to you. Okay, so you know, I'll always state what my preferences are, and then, you know, it's just my opinion, guys. And if you have different opinions, please do post up and share, and I'd love to hear about it. Right. I'll also like to step back from any kung fu politics as well. I'm not here to slag off anyone's particular style or branch or whatever the way they do it. This is just my view of whether or not I think the book is a useful teaching guide. Right. And then also, yeah, so do let me know, what books would you like to see covered, you know, so at the end of every video, I will also ask for that and say, you know, where would you like to go next? Would you like to see this guy's other book reviewed, or would you like to see me to do something different? Please do suggest things. And then last of all, please do like, share and subscribe. And I look forward to talking about all these brilliant Kung Fu books with you. Speak to you soon. Bye.